Hey guys, what's going on? Let's go crazy card collecting. This is Justin. I just got a couple things for you guys. I'm pretty excited. So my last video was celebrating 100 subscribers. I had 101 when I posted it. I posted it last Monday. Today is Tuesday, so not yesterday, the Monday before. And I just wanted to say a couple thank yous to get me where I'm at now, because as of the time of the shooting this video, I'm at 342. So in 7 days, just over 7 days, I went from 101 to 342. It's been pretty awesome, kind of a whirlwind. Really, really cool. I couldn't be more pumped. I've gotten to talk to a lot of people, gotten to see some really fun channels, and it's just been really cool. And so I wanted to shout out a few people. First, I wanted to shout out a buddy of mine, and he's talked about me on his channel. I've talked about him some on my channel. It's kind of a neat situation. Billy Ballgame. So when I started my channel, in his last video, he said it was a year ago. It wasn't quite a year ago, but when I started my channel, it was in like July of 2024. His wife sent me a message on Facebook and said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me and my husband, Billy." I'm like, absolutely, I remember you guys. So from my childhood, his wife is the sister of one of my best friends growing up. And so I'm a band director here in Arkansas. He's a band director at our alma mater. And so he was one of my best friends, and I got to know Billy then, but I haven't really talked to him since. I moved away. My friend moved away and then eventually moved back, but I haven't been really in touch with Billy. And long story short, he said, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I saw that you were either wanting to make a video or already had made a video or something like that, and I have a YouTube channel. You should check it out." I checked it out. We got in touch, and it's been awesome. We talk all the time, and so it's really great. I text him probably at least once a day, probably way more than that. He probably is pretty annoyed with me by now, but it's been pretty awesome to have that relationship just kind of rekindled. And my friend back home, it was a cool connection. And so I hadn't talked to him in probably, I don't know, 20 years. And it was just like, bam, we connected on a whole new level, and it's pretty awesome. And so I'm very, very thankful for that relationship. And so when I started my channel, he gave me a shout out and linked my channel in his, and it gave me several subscribers to start. Then right after that, Dylan from Double D, I was buying some stuff off of eBay, and I tried to buy this card, and I got this message saying, "Oh man, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry, but I don't have that card anymore. I thought I did, and I just hadn't taken it down," or whatever the mistake was. It's fine. It wasn't a big deal, but it was a neat connection because he had made that mistake, and I'm like, you're Dylan. I've watched some of your videos. It's really awesome. I just started a YouTube channel." And he was like, "No way, that's so cool." And so he goes, "I'll give you a shout out. I'll see if I can help a little." And that was really cool. He shared one of my videos. He said, "Check this guy out." We had a funny interaction. He was trying to buy cards for me on YouTube or on eBay, and I didn't have it. And so we just had a neat interaction. And so he shared that. And then from that's how Mr. John Mangini got connected to my channel. And then on my last video, when I got up to 100 subscribers, Mangini shared it, and it set it into an algorithm, which was at first, the first few people were saying, "Hey, I'm glad to come over from Mr. Mangini sent me," and President Mangini, however everybody's calling him. And so our hobby president, and I was so thankful for that. He was awesome. He kept checking in. He's like, "We got you 100 subscribers." He seemed so excited, and it meant a lot to me. It was really, really cool of him to do that. But since then, from 101 in 7 days, I'm now up to 342. And so that's awesome. I hope you guys stick around. I just love talking about baseball cards and my shared passion. And so I've got some things planned. I've got some things going on, but I wanted to send you to a video real quick I took of a local card show that I just went to this past weekend. Like I said, this is Tuesday. I went on Saturday. I'm coaching my son's baseball team, and so we had evaluations on Saturday morning, and as soon as evaluations were done, I ran over to the card show. The card show started at 9. I got there at about 9:15, and it was already packed. And so take a look at this video. I want to show you I'm on the hunt for a specific card, so I'm not spending any money, but I just wanted to see. I hadn't been to the show yet, and they have it about every couple months or every few months. And so I wanted to see what was there, if there was even a possibility for me to pick up stuff that I really want. Because I don't know, I've just been wondering what the show was about. So take a look at this. I'll show you what's going on, and show you some cards that I got to see, and kind of excited about this show that it's in my, I mean, it's literally 3 miles away. So take a look. What's up, guys? Just bringing you in with me to my Conway card show, about 3 miles from my house. It's about 9:15. The first case I walk into is the Gibby Rookie, the card that I'm saving up to get, but I don't really want that one. I didn't have the money to spend on it just yet anyway, but I don't mind having an SGC3. That doesn't bother me at all. But when I get this card, I want it to be just a little more centered than that. If the corners are fuzzy or whatever, no creases. I don't want any creases, and no snowing. That's a big deal for me on this card. But if the centering's that bad, I'm going to hold out, even if I have to just wait and save a little bit more money to get an even better one. There's all kinds of good stuff at the show, though. There lots of vintage, several vintage dealers. Out of the 70 tables or so that were there, there's about 90 tables that were there. There were 20 that were vintage, and so it was great stuff. This is all from the same dealer. He had several tables down this row. And then I make my way over. I kind of catches my eye that there's some vintage over this way, and so I head in this direction, and I start looking through these cases. This was an older man. I talked to him for a while. But as I'm looking through his cases, I notice it catches my eye over in the second case that there is another Gibby Rookie in an SGC 4.5. It is off-centered in the exact same way, but it's a beautiful card. Again, except for the off-centeredness, and this guy wanted $650 for this one. All right, guys, as you could see that video, man, right off the bat, just 2 Bob Gibson rookies, and that was pretty cool. And so there's hope for that show for sure. Whenever I get my Gibson, I'll either try to buy it at that show, buy it somewhere. I want to buy it in person. I want to video it, whether it's a trip to Missouri to see Billy, and maybe meet Chris from Missouri and get to talk with those guys and hang out with those guys and try to find some show there that I could get it at, or whether it's, a trip to the National. I've got some buddies in Chicago. Maybe I can get myself there for at least a day to try to get one off the floor there, or Strongsville, wherever it is. I want to do it in person, and that card is going to mean a lot to me. So I want to make sure that I do that the right way. Also, I wanted to show you a few things. So with saving money comes no spending of money. So I'm not trying to buy new cards right now. I'm just trying to save up. I'm trying to sell stuff, trying to get rid of a bunch of things, and kind of thin out an area here in mine and my wife's closet. So we need the space, and I need the money for a card I really want. And I talked to you about that in the last video. So, but anyway, I wanted to show you a few things that I've picked up previously, and something that was sent to me that was really awesome. I did get this collection that was really cool. I mow a woman's lawn, and her husband had passed away, and he collected cards, and his garage was full. And she's like, I would love to, since he's passed away, I'm kind of struggling a little bit. Can I give you some of these cards, and we'll call it, even? And I made some mistakes with that. That gift, or that collection, and I'll share that with you sometime. But I did get some really cool stuff from that collection as well. Let me show you a couple things. I got this 1980 Laughlin set, which is really cool. All 40 cards. I really like these. They're really, really neat. There's the Honus Wagner. These are so cool. Al Simmons, Hack Wilson, Dizzy Dean won 34 games in 1934. He's right there. That's pretty awesome. Nellie Fox, Lefty Grove. There's George Sisler down here at the bottom. Lou Gehrig played 2,130 consecutive games. Thurman Munson made 7 straight World Series hits. Babe Ruth led the AL in home runs 12 times. Jackie Robinson became the first black major leaguer. There's Jackie. There's Babe. Thurman Munson right there. Lou Gehrig. Those are pretty awesome. Let's see what some other ones. Roberto Clemente. That's one of my favorite looking cards out of this set, this Famous Feats. That's pretty cool. I really like that. I say pretty cool a lot, don't I? I mean, what else? How else can you describe it, right? There's Joe Jackson right there, shoeless. Walter Johnson. So struck out 3,508 batters. Christy Mathewson's up here. We got Eddie Collins, Joe McCarthy, Ty Cobb, Cy Young, 20 or more games, 16 times. 4,191 hits for Ty Cobb. And then the last page, Connie Mack, Rogers Hornsby. Averaged 402 over 5 years. 21 through 25, right there. So anyway, this is a really cool set. I have the whole set here. Not sure how I'm going to display this, but this came in that collection that I got it's from 1980, like I said. And I think it's R.G. Laughlin, however you want to say it. But I think he did several through the 70s. And I don't know if this was his last one. But 1980 there. Something else I got in that collection, which is pretty cool. So we have a AA team here in Little Rock. I mean, it's real close. And they're the Arkansas Travelers. Right now they're affiliated with Seattle. They used to be affiliated with the Angels. Trout came through there. And then before then, they were affiliated with the Cardinals. And so in the 90s, when they were affiliated with the Cardinals, the guy that I got this collection for, it was Ray Winder Field. And Ozzie Smith had made a trip there at some point. And while he was there, this guy and his wife were at Ray Winder Field. It's got some stuff down here, but that's okay. And this is a program from that day. And they were celebrating 60 years of Ray Winder Field. That's not even where they play anymore. Diggy Stevens Park is where they play now. But in 1992, and when Ozzie was there, he waited in line and got Ozzie's signature on this. And so this was in that collection. And Ozzie is my favorite player of all time. I grew up in St. Louis in the 90s, the 80s and 90s. So I love this. I love this program. I've got other Ozzie autographs, but I really love this. Something else that I picked up is these 1967 pinups. I love these things. They were folded up into the packs. One of my favorite videos is when old Jeff Wilson was opening a 1967 Topps pack, and he gets the Roberto Clemente out of it. And he thinks he had found something extremely rare and was pretty excited about it. And I'm like, those things are so cheap. It's pretty cool that you found one right out of the pack, Jeff, but these are had at a really good price. And so if you want to pick up some playing days items from these players, I also like the bigger items. Pick up some of these pinups. There's Orlando Cepeda, Willie McCovey. Very cool. The back looks like that. And they have the folds in them because they're folded. Just noticed. There's a Juan Marichal. the back of that one. How about that? Speaking of, there's Juan Marichal. Joe Torre. These are so cool. They're 5x7. Al Kaline. Harmon Killebrew. Frank Robinson. I think I was able to get all those for like 20 bucks. Playing days items of these players. And they're so cool, and they're bigger. The last thing I want to show you guys is something that's really neat. It's a book. And so when I first started, I did a video about a guy named Dick Hughes, and I've talked about him several times on the channel. He lives here in Arkansas, and I have his personal address. I go to church with his daughter, and he pitched in the 67 World Series for the Cardinals, was runner-up for Rookie of the Year. And just, I mean, if you're going to have 1 year, there aren't too many years that are as good as that one. And so he had just a fantastic year. And so I talked about him, and a guy reached out to me named Jim Yeager. And Jim Yeager is an author here in Arkansas, and he's written 2 books, and he writes this article every week. And he had just done one about Dick Hughes, and so he reached out to me. And then he recently sent me his book, which was really, really cool. Backroads and Ball Players. It says a collection of stories about famous and not so famous professional baseball players from rural Arkansas, by Jim Yeager. And so it's an awesome book. You may not enjoy it unless you're an Arkansan, but I think you would. He said to Justin, for our shared love of the game. Signed it for me down there, which is really, really cool. I love this book so far. And all it is, I mean, seriously, it's just a collection of stories. We start with Dizzy and the Deans. And it talks about Dizzy and his career a little bit. And it's just a few pages long. And then it talks about Paul Dean. And then it talks about Paul Dean Jr., who had a promising career for a little while. And then it goes into a guy named Dizzy Dean Higginbottom, who was named after Dizzy. And he went on to have, not all of them made it to the majors. Some of them did. There's a place called Greenbrier here in town. There's a guy from Greenbrier that has a 33 Gaudi, DeBrell Williams. Some of you might have that. There's his card right there. And got a big lip full of chaw in there. But I may chase some of these cards once I get past that Gibson. Pretty cool. I'm excited about this book. I love reading it. The stories are awesome. So if you have about 5 minutes and you just want to read a story real quick, it's really, really cool to do that. Great read. Jim Yeager, Backroads and Ball Players, but it is about the guys from Arkansas. And so really, really cool book. He's got another one, and I'm going to check that one out as well. And so I'm so thankful. There's him and Paul Dean Jr. I think his son has a restaurant about an hour or so from me with a lot of memorabilia in there. So I'm going to go check that out at some point too. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, go crazy card collecting. Thank you so much. I hope you stick around. I hope you keep commenting. I love it. I can't interact enough. That's what I wanted. Man, and those 3 guys so far for my channel have really delivered for me. And I'm so thankful, Mr. Mangini. Thank you so much for sharing my video last week and just sending that video into the stratosphere. I didn't expect that to happen. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching, and God bless.